Right.
Episode 0.
Yes.
I was thinking just go ahead and intro, introduce ourselves, I guess, and then just give a rundown, high level view of what the show's all going to be about. Me personally, I mean, I think it's going to be like about everything, but we don't have a set street to go down as far as what
What we
the show's going to talk about.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of good because we won't be known for a niche. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people have like niche things
Yeah,
that they do. It's based on politics or it's based on sports or it's based on hip hop. Ours is kind of based off of kind of, life in general and, maybe what's topics that are affecting us that may be affecting other people or, it's shits and giggles too, but at the end of the day it's just going to be kind of our different contrasts and on, just everyday life of
because
what's going on.
it makes sense to just have it as freelance because there's a whole bunch of stuff happens
Right.
every day, and we don't dive into one subject. We're not experts in anything, so
No, it's very opinion based. We're gonna have to
yeah,
put that out there from the beginning. It's very opinion based.
yeah. It's
So
not this or that way. I think it's
it's
just
they're facts that we made up.
right because we want likes.
Yeah, but
We want the likes.
and also that what that does if it's not based off of one thing, it doesn't. It would be weird if say we were just a sports. Say we were just doing sports. That was our main thing, and then all of a sudden we
Right,
got real political. Some people may be like, "I don't want to. I didn't come here for that shit."
right.
But if you don't know what you're gonna get in this soup. It won't affect you as much if we go from talking about sports or talking about a political matter or talking about something that got to do with marriage or relationships or work, things of that nature.
It's really a general conversation. I think that's what you usually would have with your friends.
Right.
You wouldn't just talk. You wouldn't just stay on one subject unless it was a hot topic of
Yeah.
something or something that just happened. A lot of people can get bogged down on one thing and just completely throw the whole synergy off. Like
Right.
everybody's just focused on this, and it might just be opposing subject, and they don't. they just keep going on and not trying to listen. Because if you don't listen to nobody when they oppose you, then I think you that's when that animosity comes up.
Right.
You want to just go ahead and just beat them up or do some harm
Yeah. Well,
to
because
them.
everybody got such when you have a lot of people have such strong opinions that they don't want to hear any kind of other mind state or any kind of other thought process. They just, that's kind of like a Republican and Democrat thing. It's
Yeah,
either
big
or,
time.
you just bang bang Republican or bang bang Democrat. It's just, you gotta believe in this to be this or this to be that. Their opinions are so swayed that, sometimes on both sides you lose morality in
Oh
the whole
yeah, big
thing.
time. I don't even think me personally about politics. I don't think us as as citizens should really dive deep into being Republican or Democrat because for me when I look at both sides, I think because society changes all the time. Every decade, society is looking a lot different. So what having two political parties, what that does is it creates the conversation that isn't talked about, or one side may believe one way is the right way, and vice versa. But as they argue and debate, I think that's where you find the middle. And right now, that ain't happening. Ever since Barack was, I was about to say arrested. Ever since Barack
Oh
was
my God! Wait a
arrested.
minute. You done ended this before it started.
ever since ever since he was elected, it just seemed like the political magnets just was
Well,
spread apart
because
further
it
than what
came
it was.
because they brought race into it for the very first time.
Yeah, that's
You know,
definitely what it
when you
was.
got the old guards in there, and quite honestly, I never thought in my lifetime I would see a black president, let alone 2 terms. You know, forget the parties, forget all that, just based off of, you know, the way America has been, there was no way in hell that I thought a black president would get elected. It's just that's just the gist of it. So when it happened, yeah, you elect the black president, but you still got the old guards running the whole show.
Yeah, of
So
course.
they ain't even people in his own party wasn't happy that he got, you know, those Democrats that are you know, like Southern Democrats are usually more Republican than Northern Republicans. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
of course. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see
because
it all the
even
time.
they down here, Democrats, because I'm in Texas, but up north, they would be Republicans. Their same ideologies down here as Democrats is so that kind of lets you know that the party thing, you know, a lot of
Yeah,
times is just what at the end of the day, politics is what suits you. If you think this person suits you best, I have no problem with you voting for anybody. But when you bring in morality and just common sense issues and you are sticking to your party lines because of the party, even though you may not believe in a lot of the shit that your party is saying, you still stick with it because you know you riding with the home team. That's almost like it's almost like a gang thing. It's almost like Crips and Bloods. They red and blue. You see what I'm saying? No matter what, even if you don't agree with your set, you're gonna ride along and do some dumb shit and end up in a bad position.
yeah. A lot of valuable conversations are just not being had. People don't like when you oppose them, especially on that spectrum. It's kind of strange. It's almost like the people are hiding that initial feeling of how they felt towards the other side, or person, or race, whatever it is. It's the conversations that used to go on, because I remember I used to have conversations with like some of my white friends, and it would be on a level field. We would really have genuine discussions about
Mm-hmm.
issues, and things would be learned from them telling me their perspective, and vice versa. So then we would approach things different, especially when we go out here and meet these people. When we go meet people that that are different than us, we know how to approach them. Because white people, there are so many white people that haven't even talked to a black person in their life, so they get the perspective of television,
Yeah.
and so
And
now
music and rap music, and you see these people with their pants sagging, and
exactly.
you see all this, and you like, whoa. But on the flip side, there's white people that are just as ghetto as black people.
Yep.
You see, it's just a different kind of ghetto. You know, it's come on, man. It's you know, you go to certain trailer parks and they playing that, you know, a loud heavy metal country music and all that shit, and they banging their heads and they got all the guns. That's just as
You
dangerous
know
as
what?
going
I
to
was
someone in. I would rather put it this way, and that's like how they feel. They would rather deal with that ghetto than deal with our ghetto. Vice versa. I would rather go into the hood than go into some part of town that they don't take too kindly to my kind and they playing some heavy metal shit and they got some what's that Confederate flags. I rather not. I'd rather go in the hood and deal with, at
but
least I can talk to them. I don't know how to,
yeah.
just like they don't know how to talk to us. I don't know how to talk to them either.
What's funny is you say, white folks got their ghetto. They for me, I feel like they got two types of ghettos, because I wasn't thinking about the extreme KKK country backwood heavy metal dudes countryside. I wasn't. I mean, when you say ghetto, and maybe this is a bad thing, I thought the white folks that
Trailer
are
parks.
they hood. They've been around black people most of their lives. They may have grown up in the inner city. You remember Nicole in the projects?
Oh, that was that lived right on the
Mexican grandma.
same. Yeah,
Yeah, on the other side. Yeah,
yeah.
in the cold. Somebody like that. See, now they act just as ghetto and just as, crazy as a woman who's black and
Oh yeah,
raised in that same
yeah,
area.
yeah.
So I don't know. So okay, now this changes to another whole thing. So is it culture? Like, is it culture that's the problem? Because there's black folks that act
It's yes.
suburban.
I wouldn't say it's yeah culture, but it's also learned taught traits that are learned. I don't think that if you if you threw a bunch of us on the island to survive together, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever other race I'm missing out there, Middle Eastern. If you just threw us all on there, you didn't put no religion on us, you didn't put no government on us, you didn't give us no ideology of difference as far as
Right.
skin color, or we don't know nothing. All we can communicate, but we don't know nothing about. We just know I'm lighter, you darker. We humans, and we need to get together. I don't think uh the racism would exist if you don't teach it.
Of course. Yeah.
So
Everybody comes.
so
I agree.
it has to be culture, just like it has to be culture as far as it's a cultural thing that black people are scared of the cops. That's you turn you learn, especially around, you don't mess with the cops, so it's all everything is culture and your upbringing, because people that grew up in, like, black people that grew up in the suburbs may not be as critical of the or may not be as supportive of the Black Lives Matter, because they've been around a bunch of white people that ain't never did nothing wrong to them.
Right.
So they may be like, well, I get it, I understand that, but I it's about what you learn, a
So
lot of
what are
it.
you fighting then? So what are people really fighting after you see like police brutality and
Mhm.
a lot of injustice racially, especially like the Ahmaud Aubrey dude down here that
Right.
was shot by them folks. Like, are you really? Are we fighting the ideas, or are we fighting the people? Because there's no. For me, I feel like the solution ain't had. There has
Mm,
been no discussion on a real solution.
mm.
I always want to find out exactly what to do to make things better. But when it comes down to finding out the problem and trying to move it along and correct things, it seems like everybody's at a stalemate. They don't. They stay within this area where they're continuing to talk about it and just discuss it and not solve it. So that is what I wrestle with. Like, are we really fighting the ideas? Like, if we're really fighting the people, then that's when you go to war, right? You got to go to war with people. But if you look at what the issue is, if you boil it down
Mm.
to the idea, how I don't get why we don't go after that. Like, how come we can't change the mind? How come we can't change the mind of a subject or
That's
a thing?
that's and you're talking, okay, because no, no, seriously, I got to gather what I'm going to say,
No,
because I want to make sure I say it the right way.
right.
We're trying to fight. Okay, I think I have it. We're fighting different things, but we're lumping them into one big oppression bubble. Do you understand? We're fighting police brutality. Okay, so the police brutality thing, right? The cops killing young black men. That's
Mm,
one. That's one problem in its own self. You understand? That's a
right.
problem right there, right? So we need to focus on police, some sort of police reform, to where they don't feel like they have to go 0 to 100 with us, because at the end of the day, we don't get the same liberties and the same leeway as other races when we dealing with the police. It's 0 to 100, as to
Of
where you
course, yeah.
see a police will pull over a white person or something. They'll cuss the police out. Oh, what you pull me over for? MF this, that, and another. Some even have weapons, and the police still don't shoot. So
Yeah.
we don't, as black people, we don't have a history of violence against police. So where is the threat of them going 0 to 100 with us when they, at the end of the day, when you look at it, black people don't have, it's not a lot of black people out here killing police. We know that if we kill police, that's a death sentence for us and possibly getting some of our family hurt. We
Right.
know there's no coming back.
Right.
We already know that the chip. So that's one thing. Then we fighting systematic racism that's been placed on us to where, it's still people out here calling you after all this time. We all know we bleed together, bleed the same. We breathe the same air, but you still think that I'm a lesser of a person than you because of my race. But the biggest thing we're fighting is ourselves,
As
because
human beings, you mean? You mean as human beings, we're fighting ourselves?
as black people,
Okay.
we're our own worst enemy. We don't have, how you talk about culture, we don't really have our own culture, so to speak. Our culture, we have hip hop and all that, but we don't have, like, as far as Africans, they have an African, even though they're here in America, they have an African culture. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's their culture. Okay, Mexicans or Hispanic, they still have a Hispanic culture
Right.
where they come from. They have a lineage. Asian Americans, Asians, or whatever, they have their own. Black people don't have that culture to go back on because we're almost
Mixed in with
we're
what white
we're
folks
almost
did.
we're almost the at the end of the day, besides the Indians, we're the most Americans because our whole culture is our culture that we're trying to get away from, is that we're trapped in, is slavery. That's why we like that. We trapped in a slave culture. We carry that around, and that's not the culture we need to have. It shouldn't be a culture of oppression and hate and misery, and that's kind of what we have right now. That slave mentality. We don't look out for each other. Like, you can people from the Middle East will come over here, and it'll be 8 of them in one house, and they all will work together until that one house becomes 8 houses. We don't do that.
Mhm.
And they don't, and they won't rob each other. They don't even have a thought about somebody doing something deceitful to them. Same thing with Asians. They come here, they help their own. Same thing with Hispanics. They come there, they help their own. What we do? Oh, I ain't messing with that nigga.
Oh, all the time.
Oh, hell no, no,
All the
no.
time.
We even go, it's like you may even look, and I've been guilty of the shit sometimes.
Oh yeah. Of
But
course,
because,
yeah.
listen, were you about to do business with somebody that may be in the bank or somewhere, and he just come off as a slick talking nigga that you've done something with, or have got you before, you just like, it just turns you completely of like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm gonna go over here with Point Dexter. At least he know
That's
I
just
at
yep.
least he know I'll whoop his ass if he do something with my money.
It's just like customer service. Would you, if you're in line and you could choose between?
Well, I don't do that anymore, but I'm saying I've been guilty of it. And
I me too.
that's what I'm saying. I've been guilty. So that's what we're fighting. We're fighting all of that, and we're trying to place it on someone else, but we have to start from within. Like, if ain't nobody gonna give a shit. That's all.
Of course.
Ain't no 40 acres and a mule. Ain't nobody about to give you no handouts. But there are ways to get shit. Like, how are all these other different races coming from a whole nother country, right, and coming over here and starting businesses and being successful, and we already here and we can't do shit? That's because there's no network with us. With them, all it takes is one person to find out that it works, and they
Right.
telling everybody. We like this. If it worked for us, we like, shit, I can't tell everybody. It ain't enough. It's never
So what
enough for
do
everybody.
so where do we go from that point? Because going back to what you said, I wrote it down. You were saying, you know, everybody helps each other. All
Right.
the other races, they help each other. But when it comes to just black folks, we shun each other, we rob from each other, whatever. We when we see uh, ourselves, when we see another black person, it makes it easier for us to make a decision against them, or But what do we do to curb that? Because it just seems as though sometimes we like to play the role too often that people see us as on TV when that's not the fact. Because let me tell you, black families are probably, if not the strongest type family type or just a family group that they're probably the most powerful family group amongst other families as far as you know white folks or
But
Indian folks or
but
something.
the
But
difference with that is so few family structures as far as husband, wife, children, brother, his wife, his children, brother, his wife, his children, cousin, his wife. We have baby mama, baby mama,
yeah, that's
baby
crazy.
daddy, baby mama, baby mama. So our family structure has is it there is really hard. And a lot of it is because
There's got to be something that
I
can.
don't even have an answer for that right now.
But you know what? To me, it just seems like although we have it hard as it is for us as a race in America, I feel like we're so smart as just a people. We're intelligent as just you know when it comes down to I guess going against somebody in a battle of wits or whatever. We can do it as a race. I think that I know that we can blow people's mind with the intelligence that we have. But the thing is, how come we can't, like, where is it to where it stops it, as in how come it doesn't flow through that we can do that? I mean, I know we don't have the fathers in the household that can complete the family unit when it comes to being raised by
Okay,
your
but that's
family.
like I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's like a conversation we had earlier. As far as you with baseball, and you had your father in the house, me with football, I didn't. But
Right,
he ain't push you
right,
as he should have. You
right,
understand? He didn't take that interest because he had to go to work every day. Just he go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. So
right.
it's very much a lack of men in the family because at the end of the day, it was still your mama that was raising you the most, that you dealt with you the most, and for me, and if you don't know, then you grow up not knowing. You don't know that you got to put in. You hear about it, oh, work hard, but if somebody telling you work hard that you don't respect or has that close connection to you, that should go in, and you
Right.
14, 15, or whatever, that should go in one ear and out the other.
So, what do you think we could? What are some solutions you would think of? Like, would there be more
Okay,
schooling?
as far as
Would-
it has to be knowledge based, man, and it has to be wanted. It can't be like they always say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can give you all the knowledge in the world. I can set you up, but we got to stop looking for handouts. Ain't nobody going to give a shit. So we're going to have to work for it, and hard work always pays off. That's just the gist of it. So, but and it's the biggest thing is the trust factor.
of course, yeah, big
It's a
time.
big trust factor. Like even me with and with you, it's like, who can I trust to do this with? It's like, oh yeah, I can trust my cousin, but I know you, not just because you my cousin, but I know you as a person, is what I'm
Right.
saying.
You
So
see, yeah, that makes it
it
does
takes
make sense.
like it takes healing, it takes conversation, and it takes objective views, because if you tell me something, it may not sound good to me, but it benefits me. I have to be able to take that constructively and not thinking that you coming down on me. But as black people, we're just reactive. It's no, we just zero. We go 0 to 100. That's why you step on somebody's shoes, you get punched in the face. That's not. it was a mistake 9 times out of 10. Ain't nobody just going around intention. Now there are some assholes that's probably going around intentionally stepping on people's shoes, but I'm willing to bet for the most part, if you in a crowded club and someone steps on your shoes, it was probably a mistake because it's a bunch of people. So instead of, both of you acknowledging like, oh, my bad, and him, oh, it's all good, it's a club, shoes gonna get stepped on. Don't wear $10,000 shoes in a club with 400 people because your feet
Right.
might get stepped on. You can't be mad at that. But you, oh mother, you 0 to 100 because we feel it's ego built up. We got built up animosity that's ingrained in us that we need to let go.
Yeah, I think that's century
Of
old.
course, 400 years. It's in the blood, and sometimes it's passed on through genes. So you can't, and then what all we see as far as black movies is a bunch of slave movies, and we keep seeing this same shit reminding us that we were slaves. I grew up in the 80s and they told us about it in school. I seen Roots. I understand. I don't need to see another slave movie, man, unless it's Django, unless we out killing somebody. But I don't need to see, I know where I came from and I know it was something horrific. The Holocaust was
Of course.
horrific. There's been horrific, the Crusades were horrific. There's been horrific events in this world just with humans in general because some humans are just hateful and evil. That's just the gist of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Pride will kill you.
yeah, so we just got to get away from all the hurt. Understand it. Once you understand what happened, don't dwell on it in a way that it's always reflective. Dwell on it like, okay, this is the mistake we made last time. So next time this come up, we're going to do this.
So who has to sacrifice? Because this is how it's gonna go. If let's just say everybody was on the same page
Hmm.
and we start to do stuff, there's gonna be like somebody's gonna have to be the sacrifice of making this work. Seems like it's always somebody that goes through the brunt of it to finally get things going. So is it does does the youth have to make some changes, or do we have to facilitate that? Like, what do we have to do to, as especially adults? Because I think that
Yes.
I'd have to.
No, you're absolutely right. It's both, but it also has to be, I think, with us, since there's such a lack of trust, it has to be transparent. It
Oh yeah,
has to
big
be
time.
where who all parties involved can see what is going on, because all it takes is a little bit of doubt for shit to go south with us, and that's bad. It's no That's why a lot of times with black families relationships don't work, because as soon as you hit some higher time, shit happens, man. People fuck up. That's just life. Nobody's perfect. Somebody will make some mistake. We all have egos, we all have insecurities, we all have desires, we have wants, and we all are lustful. That's just humans in general. Okay, someone sit here and try and be holier than now and tell you that, oh no, I don't. Yes, everybody has desires and things that they want that may not be
Right.
good for them. All right, it's how is your restraint? How good is your willpower? And sometimes you get weak. Certain things build up on you, and pressure bust pipes. And are you going to leave the pipe broken? Or are you going to fix it? Sometimes you fix it. It's
Yeah.
better than new. You said you you,
Especially
you reinforce it, but as soon as we hit some higher times, shit, we done.
just
If you
yeah.
if
Speaking of that,
Yeah, if you don't think
that's
that
exactly right.
if you don't think that all these other races that their mom and dad been married for 25 years, that some bullshit ain't go on in them 25 years, you out your mind. That
Of
could have
course.
broke them. You see what I'm saying? That could have broke them. You out your mind.
Yeah. See, like it's those things we go through that when an obstacle presents itself, because everybody goes through similar obstacles in life, very similar. I mean, from breakups to relationships to job fired, like those things are just obstacles in life that we go through. So whoever it is that's about to hit that obstacle, they're either gonna damage it. They're going to damage themselves. They're going to not cross over. you know, they're going to react different. So with black folks, usually in areas where they lack resources, inner cities, they it's hard for them to take that compassionate approach to a obstacle, to a situation. As far as, you know, anything, and I'm using work and job just to get a clearer picture of what I'm trying to say. You know, folks that may be smart, but they just don't know how to get an interview, or the way they approach people every day. It affects them. And the solution for me, I think, is a lot of the tangible the tangible things that the youth is really going after. Just, I mean, chains, clothes, whatever. There needs to be a restructuring of the mind towards those things. I think a lot of young, you know, black men love money too much. I think they love it too much.
I wouldn't.
Now,
I think everybody loves money, right?
well, yeah,
But I get what
of
you.
course,
I think young black men love materialistic shit. They love it's a fashion thing. You know, they would rather spend 5,000. They'll spend $5,000 on some sneakers
yep,
instead of putting that $5,000 in the bank and letting it grow over time to whatever amount that is going to go, or investing it in something. And that's a part of we don't. That's a part of we don't come from money as far as a people.
exactly,
We don't we
exactly.
don't know how to. And when you're young and in the hood, I'm not thinking about I'm not thinking about no damn saving for tomorrow. I'm trying to ball out today.
Yeah,
I've been broke. I've been broke all this time. You think I'm gonna hit this lick and save this money? No, I've been broke. Hell no. I'm going to buy some clothes. I'm going to be fresh. I'm about to stun on these niggas.
and this the
That's
thing.
the mindset.
That's the thing. We've been broke so long, so let me do what I want to do, which could be reckless. And it's almost like you can't blame them. But where's the blame
No,
going to go?
but here's the thing: you don't know to save. A lot of times you don't think like them kids in Chicago. Them you think them boys is thinking about they mid to late 30s and they 40s. You think they ain't that's OG status. If you make it to 40 out there with them boys, the way they out there blasting, you a OG. That's me. I'm 40.
It's
They not
sad
even
too,
making it to my age.
and it's
So
incredible.
why would they save anything? Why would they doing it? But that's it. Okay, take another for instance, me, right? I got hired, at my job. I'm not really going to talk about where I work yet. I'm not just going to put that out there, but where I work, I make good money. As an 18-year-old getting hired there, that was a come up for me, right? I've been there 20 some years, 22 years almost. I wasn't taught to save that money when I first was getting there. I was blowing every check every week because it was a come. It's like, oh, look at all this I can buy. I'm buying. This is back when back when FUBU was popping the 05 jerseys, every color, all the ones, every Friday. Well, we got our check on Wednesday back then. Every Wednesday, I go deposit that check and I bought something. I was living at the crib. I didn't think like, oh, let me save this money, or I was living with my grandmother with Big Ma. I didn't say, I didn't think that, let me start saving this money so I can buy a house for us. No, I ain't paying no bills. I'm balling. I'm blowing this money. I went and bought a couple chains. When man was put like chains on layaway, I was putting
You got
five.
pictures?
I
You
think
got pictures of that? I
yeah,
gotta
like
see
my
that
chain. Yeah, I
then.
got all pictures of like the chains I had. Look, I was putting them on layaway, putting $500 a week on them every week. $500, boom, boom, buying 2,000. Yeah, it was stupid, ridiculous. Not saving any of
Dang,
that money. And then guess what? My house burns down, and I got thousands of dollars of clothes and sneakers in my house, and gone.
damn, gone. Can't even trade it in. Can't even trade it
Bought it
in
all
some new
again.
shirt.
Look, bought it all again.
No.
I'm balling.
See, I
Fuck
didn't.
this shit.
I couldn't. I was. I. I don't know
But
when I
you know
first
why?
started balling.
You go from nothing, right? You go from nothing, hustling in the streets, doing whatever, getting your money, when you can. See, because when you hustling, you may have it one day and you may not have it for a while. You may lose everything. You get knocked, somebody hit your stash. But this was a consistent check every week. You know, $800-900. I'm 18 years old. I'm getting $800-900 every week. I'm in college. I got my own car. I'm staying at home. I don't have no bills. Nigga, I'm balling.
How long were you doing that? Grandma didn't kick you out?
Big man, no, hell no. Well, I left after the house burnt down. I went and got my own spot. It's really over now.
You talking about your mother's mom?
Yeah. I'm talking about on that side, Jay Cox.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
No, grandma passed away when I was 16.
okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't really have no guidance. You know, they telling me save your money. I hear save your money. Say, I ain't saving shit, nigga. For what? I get this next week. What I need to save it for?
Cause now look at
Yeah,
you, could have been a
now,
millionaire.
I was looking at, I done blew through crazy bread, like ridiculous. Like it's so, sometimes I don't even like thinking about it, but I wasn't taught, you know, I started reading Dave Ramsey and shit like that. And I'm just like, ugh, ugh,
Could have you 3 homes.
ugh. You see what I'm
3
saying?
cribs.
Them Jordans
Yeah.
and all that bullshit. That was all a waste, man. All a waste.
That's what the youth is doing now.
But
I
that's what
mean,
it's
well,
a,
they've been doing. We've
but
been doing it.
it's all, but what happens is we don't grow out of that shit. That's the bad part. Cause it's still grown men that'll fuck up a check on some Jordans or on some fashion just
Yeah.
so they can stunt on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever the fuck you want to,
You
just
ever
so they can
notice the
stunt.
background? They crib, yeah, they look like they're in their room at their mother's house.
Yeah, with all these sneakers stacked up and shit. But you know, look, people have, if you work hard, right, and you saving your money and you do it, well, first of all, I can't tell you what to do with your money, period. If that's what you like to do, because I did it. Who am I to, but I would say, you know, stack some of it. Someone told me, you know, you need to save at least a minimum of 10 cents on a dollar. Because when you look at it, that's not a lot of money. If out of every
Mm-hmm.
$1 you save, you take 10% of it. I do more than that, but that's how I kind of started. And that was a friend of mine who was an older black man who had went through the shit, who had fucked his money up, you know, been, you know, had money, didn't have money, was in the gutter, you know, when he needed uh nest egg or somebody to help him, he ain't had nobody there. So he realized, oh shit, I need to change. But that's what it is. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta, you know, you gotta realize you need, even like, you know, drug addicts, you gotta realize, okay, I'm done with this. Nobody can make you stop. So he told me, and that's what I started doing, saving 10%. And that's when my money started. I started seeing it like, oh shit, when I needed something, I can go grab that money here. You know,
That's
son.
good on his part, and letting you know what you should do.
But and that's kind of
Or at
what
the
we gotta
beginning.
do. But we can't get discouraged because some going out of 100, maybe only 3 get it. But
At the
that's that.
beginning.
Yeah, but that's 3. But then them 3 can tell. It just got to be passed on knowledge. We can't. I think we can't hold knowledge like as far as black people, and we got to go seek it because nobody's gonna give us anything.
I agree with that. I think it's a lot of work, but it's not like it can't be done, and it's not like it's back in the days where we had to hide to meet, or we couldn't go out somewhere for to enjoy ourselves, to have talks, or it was a different climate than what was last, what, 20 years ago. What shit, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Shit,
We could, I mean, we
it's a
could,
different climate than 5 years ago.
of course, yeah. I mean, look, the president changed everything.
And not only technological advances, there's no use, it's no excuse. Like anything, if you really want to learn how to do something, it's 2 things you need to do: YouTube and Google.
That's it.
That's
You
it.
could get a job. You could get a job if you came and you wanted to be, computer dude. You
Online.
could learn.
Look at us now. Look, say we wanted to meet with some other young brothers. We can put as many people in this damn meeting and talk about, you know, goals and, you know, it's no excuse. We just got to be, we have to be proactive and not reactive. That's all it is. Like right now, if everything is calm and ain't nobody getting shot or hung, We
Right.
still ain't even talk about them black dudes that got hung in wherever the hell they were that was hanging from them trees.
I remember that. They
Yeah,
tried
so
to say it was,
come on, man.
I think,
Look how that's
suicide.
look how that's swept under. We don't care about that no more. It's everything is technology is moving shit so fast. We got a president that's saying all kind of crazy shit. Everybody people have racism has become more blatant
Yeah, it's a
and
pop word. It's a
and
popular
out
word.
yeah and more outwardly almost kind of like it's being accepted, trying to be accepted. They're trying to make it some sort of norm because it's
Hmm.
happening way too often right now. Just even like the Karens, people just walking up to somebody in the park. Oh, you can't. It's like, who the fuck are you? You don't. Are you? Do you own this park? Or
Yeah.
calling the
Why you
cops.
following rules?
Yeah, yeah. Calling the cops on people for no reason or following people. It's just we're not given the same benefit of the
Right.
doubt. That's what I want to say. So we just have to act accordingly. And another thing is black people need to do is we need to stop worrying about what it should be and focus on what it is. Because what it should be is totally different from what it is. That's a fantasy. What it should be is a fantasy. And we don't live in fantasies and fairy tales. We live in the real world. So if you get caught on that, what it should be, we ain't never going to go nowhere.
Right.
Because we always saying, oh, it should be this, it should be this. Okay, if it should be this and it's not, what are we doing to combat what it isn't? Marching?
Done that so many times, man. Think it's more. I think you gotta start getting deep. You gotta cut deep, and you have to start looking inward. I don't know why we're not doing more of that. I mean, I know that in the '90s we did more of that. Even in our films, I mean, Do the Right Thing, Boys in the Hood. Those showed ourselves. Those movies put a mirror in front of our face, and it tried to guide us into making better decisions for our lives, and how to do things that we weren't taught growing up, or in that nature. So it's an everybody thing. Everybody got to at least work at talking to their network or whoever they're around. But that's for another discussion. I think. We've been an hour. We've been an hour.
I don't know, dude. I don't even see where the time is. Has it been an hour? I don't think so. Close to it. And we
It's
haven't even
it's
introduced ourselves.
Well,
we
yeah. Let's do that. I
we
do
just
have a
started.
hard stop.
We do. Yeah, that is a hard. I can chop it up, but
Yeah, I mean we could. Yeah, because me and Lene got to do some wedding stuff in another 30
oh
or another
shit,
15.
that's another thing to talk about.
We're gonna talk about that soon.
Woo!
But I guess, I mean, but I like how we flowed through. We kept on the same pace, and went to another topic through that same subject we were discussing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's gonna
I
flow
think we
fairly
could.
good.
I do think we should, talk about something for like 15 minutes, and there should be a deliberate switch in topics. Like we could just talk about politics, then we can go straight into like wedding stuff or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We
Whatever.
can go right into the topic,
Okay.
kind of break it up.
Well, because we
But
kind of stayed on the same top. We stayed on the same area. It was different topics in that area, but we kind of stayed on the same, black kind of racial tensions, kind of what's going on, what because there's still a lot to talk about. Even like the policing and shit like that. It's a lot, still a lot of that. That's like a conversation. All that is a whole episode in its own self. Because we
oh
still
yeah,
didn't touch on a lot of subjects.
yeah, we got tons of stuff. Like what do you? Oh, you want to introduce?
We can
You
just
want to
keep
go ahead and
talking.
do?
That introduction will come if you still got things you want to talk about.
No, that was it. I just really wanted to tap into that topic because um
Okay, let me
what's
ask you
going
real quick.
on right now.
Real quick. What do you think of Black Lives Matter?
I agree with the statement. I agree with the statement. I think it is true. There is an issue with police policing on black folks, especially black men. I think that, some of these, racist white people, or not even racist, just prejudice, some ignorant. It could, the bare minimum is ignorance on white folks and how they approach black people, or just people of color. Period. The I can't say the word right. Superiority.
Superiority. I prac.
Superiority.
Hey, trust me, I practice that word.
Yo, pick the pepper, peanuts, peanuts, pick the pepper,
Peter
Piper
Pepper,
on the
pick the
pick
pickle pepper.
You did that 3 times in the mirror before you got on.
No, because I'm a Candyman might pop out that bitch. Don't do shit
Gonna
three
be
times
Peter
in the
Piper.
mirror. Or Peter.
Gonna be.
Okay. Hey,
Hey.
it'd be R. Kelly, the Pied Piper. It's like, you freed me from jail. He just come out pissing everywhere.
Oh no, you don't want that Pied Piper.
No,
But
no,
no,
no.
you.
But
But
like with Black Lives Matter, right? This is my issue I have with them. I do have an issue with it. I do.
I do too.
I
Yeah.
support it, but there's no. What's the end game? Like, what is the agenda? What are we doing? Like, okay, you saying Black Lives Matter, you saying it's for oppression, but you get all these black people or just people in general together and y'all march, yet y'all don't sign none of them up for no programs as far as government loans or funding, or y'all not networking on how to build structure and business. Y'all just out here protesting and in some cases burning shit down. Why not take all them people y'all protesting and go to the hoods and clean the hood up? Just walk through the hood and clean it up. Don't walk through and tear it down. Walk through and clean up the garbage. Walk through and go to these centers and help with the community centers where the black lives are being affected the most. Go to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're going to burn some shit down, I'm not saying you should. I don't think you should burn anything down. I think that's ass backwards. But you ain't going to do it in no ritzy neighborhood because they'll tear y'all asses up.
They'll pop everybody up.
Everybody getting got. So bring people together and say, look, I understand that you're being racially profiled sometimes by police. It's not right. It's not what it should be, but that's what it is. So learn when you have an advantage and a disadvantage. Police by law, if they are feeling threatened, they are able to use force that is considered deadly. And
Mm-hmm.
as we've seen, they not going to jail for the shit. So at the end of the day, if you're not guilty, if you ain't got nothing on you, even if you are guilty and got something on you, whatever the case, don't if you already know they go from 0 to 100 with us, don't give them no opportunity. I'm not giving them the opportunity to go 100 with me. They can ask me all the questions in the world. They can already have an attitude. I'm going, yes sir, no sir, because at the end of the day, I want to get home to my kids. I don't like it. It ain't what it's supposed to be, but that's just what it is. Because
Right.
guess what? If you go into a Crip neighborhood, you can't wear no red,
Nope.
right? And if
Can't wear this hat.
no, because you gonna get tore up, and you not gonna do it. Why? Because you respect what it is, not what it should be. You should be able to wear anything you want, especially if you're not affiliated. But in certain areas, you can't wear certain shit. So that's just the way it is, and we respect that. But we don't want to respect that. Oh, this cop can shoot you in your fucking face. Just do not hype the situation up. Let him have it. He pull you over, even if he racially profiling you. And I have been racially profiled. I know, and especially, I'm 40 now, but I used to look really, really young, like you in your early 30s, and you look young. They put I'm in a nice car because of where I work. They pull you over, or I'm in an area. They pull me over because I'm black. I don't give them nothing.
No
Oh,
reason.
here's my license registration. Oh, where you come from? Oh, you fit the description. Well, that description is wrong, bro. Officer. I'm coming from work. That's just what it is. Can I search the car? I just don't tear nothing up. Get your phone out, record, but don't because what happens is they already assuming that you're guilty. In my mind, I think you assume that I'm guilty. So you're gonna, if I give you anything to act like I'm guilty, your ass gonna go to 100 with me.
Yeah, they're gonna take it there because
You
they
know,
they may have that built up animosity towards black folks.
at
They
the
may
end
not
of,
have. They may have never interacted with a black person before in their life, unless it's one black dude in the precinct.
Yeah,
But
but
other than that,
and that's another thing with policing, right? You take okay, what's a you take someone from the suburbs, right? That's lived in the suburbs all their life, and then you throw them in the hood. They in a war zone in their mind. They seeing all this is loud, to them we all look the same. Everybody with a hoodie or
right.
some dreads. It don't matter what y'all look the same because you threw them in this war zone. So now everybody's dangerous. So I think
Hmm.
before police even get a gun, they should put them in these communities, right? Wherever they're going to police, no gun. You got to go meet with the community leaders and the activists. Go to a couple community service and do some community service hours, about 1,000 hours or something like that, so you can see the area. You can know like, okay, that's just loud ass little JJ. He ain't gonna do shit. He play basketball. He just run his mouth and be talking shit. Oh, but that's a dope house over there. Them niggas got guns. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, right, right.
you know the threat because everybody in the hood ain't a threat.
That's right.
So and for the most part, it's not it's not these white cops getting into shootouts and killing black men. It's these white cops just killing unarmed black men. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
because
scary.
a lot of
Very
times, listen,
scary.
a lot of times is because they all think we a threat because they don't know no better. They haven't been in the hood. They've been living in West Bubblefuck, Kentucky. So you throw me in West Bubblefuck, Kentucky, right? A black man, and I see where there's known, in certain parts of Kentucky or wherever the South is, there's Aryan nations, right? We know that.
Hmm.
You throw me in the area where there are some Aryan nation people, right? Or some whatever kind of hate group you may want to think.
Hmm.
They all look the same to me because I don't know them. If you got a bald head, oh, you one of them. So immediately I'm on 10 when I see you with the bald head. I'm like, oh, I might have to kill this motherfucker because
Yeah,
I
your
don't know what he
mentality.
gonna do. Because I don't know no better. Because I haven't been in there. I don't know that this motherfucker he bald and so he just shaves his head. I'm just on 10 with him because his head bald. And I know that it's some skinheads over here in this area.
Hmm.
So that's, it can't go. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but we have to change the narrative of we're a threat because we're not, especially the police. We're a threat to each other more than anything.
They take the aggression and say it's a threat because I guess like we talked about earlier, it's all this pent up, centuries old, just aggression that's in most black folks, and especially if you live in the hood and you gotta be on survival mode. It's hard to cut through that
No,
ignorance,
you
or
can't.
not
You
even
can't.
ignorance.
Or you just can't turn. You can't turn that energy down. That's what it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That energy, that high alert, that ah. Because what if you don't if somebody bites you and you don't bite them back, then everybody gonna bite your ass.
Yep.
That's how the
That's
hood
how it
go.
works.
All you got to do is show one sign of weakness and it's over. So they don't realize that, and a lot of times I think some white people can't sympathize with black people because they just don't know. If you don't know struggle and you don't know real like animosity and hatred towards you, you don't think it's as bad. Oh, it's probably not as bad as they're making it seem. Oh, they're over exaggerating. Oh, they need to get over it. You don't know. You can't, you don't know what it's like, so
Yeah.
you can't really understand it. So you just giving an opinion that has it has no backbone to it because it's just an opinion on the outside looking in. You don't know what it's really like to feel like that because
Right.
if you're a white man, you probably have never been racially profiled.
True that. Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
Oh man, that was
Probably
deep.
gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah, buddy, that was deep. Well, you want to go ahead and give your intro real quick? We got a couple minutes. Go ahead, and let the people know a little bit
uh,
about yourself.
yeah, and you know what? It's funny because when you talk about yourself, it's the hardest thing to do, especially when you gotta get these about me.
Mhm.
Like, you don't want to talk about your favorite food and stuff. You want to just at least give them an interesting clip about you. But yeah,
Or
what? My name is
what you
Marcus.
like to do at least. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah. Okay,
so
we
they
go
can
into that.
an understanding of where your opinion comes from.
Okay. Well, name is Marcus Banks. Uh, I was born in Buffalo. I was raised in Atlanta. I'm from the South. I mean, I came down here when I was 2, and we lived in the suburbs. I was the first black family in my neighborhood, and I ain't have no issues. Didn't go through anything. Pops was straight up go to work on, mom stayed at home, stay at home mom. We had one income. Got a sister, older sister. She what your age? Yeah,
Yeah,
40.
40,
She's
same
40
age as
years
me.
old. Got a little niece, and uh, I think for most of my life, I've always been pretty conservative with the things that I do. Having a sister, an older sister, isn't like having an older brother. So I really had to look to my friends as brothers. And matter of fact, I still hang with one of them today. Met this dude from elementary school, first grade. Still my dog. But
Hmm.
yeah, so my life is where I come from. My perspective has always been through Christ. Of course, I'm a Christian, and that's those are my beliefs. And so a lot of things have been filtered through that. How I approach things. Uh, I approach them through Christ,
Hmm.
and that's actually been very rewarding for me, and it's kept me out of situations. I mean, look, we're actually the Banks family is we can be savages for sure. I mean, not a lot of families can say that as a whole, but everybody on our side is capable of being a beast at just anything from whether it be sports or whether it just be fighting or it just be anger. Like it's we have a lot of that drive.
I
But
think
I
you are the
you know
most even kill one out of all of us, to be honest with you.
I can agree with that. But you know what? I wish I wasn't. I wish I was a little
Because
bit taller. I wish I was a ball.
your daddy, because your daddy was wild when he was young.
Yeah, and
Facts.
and you know what? But it's funny
Facts.
because we talked to him. I talked to him the other day, and he told me about he told me about this time me and Celeste got into an argument, and we were about to really I was about to bust her ass, and my dad called the cops, and I remember him calling the police. Yes, he called because it was loud, and we
Hmm.
was. I mean, this was like high school. I don't know, but the other day we were talking about it, and he was like, we were talking about anger, how yo pops beat up 5 people in the bar, and granddaddy beat up like 3 people in the bar, or something
Oh
like that. I
yeah,
think they were together. The
but
cops.
you need to ask him about Uncle John and Aunt Braz when they used to go to the pen club.
And
Them
he
niggas
talked about that
there.
too.
Them niggas was the craziest.
He talked about that too because he was telling, like I said, he was talking about how us as a family, we are, it's almost a warrior mentality that is instilled in a lot of us. But for me, I kept all that suppressed, and my dad did it on purpose because he knew that life. So he really didn't. We didn't have cards in the house. He didn't let us play cards
Oh yeah, the
because he
tunk
felt.
games was amazing. Yeah, see, y'all missed a lot of that. Look, I don't mean to interrupt you. I remember I was 11 or 12, right? And it was like a holiday or something. And I had got some money. I had got like $30. And I'm like, shit, I want to play. They were like, we playing for money. So I'm 11, 12. I lose the whole 30. I'm thinking they going to give it back. Them niggas did not give me my money back. That was my first
That's
lesson at gambling. You know, I cried. They didn't give a fuck. They did not give me my money back. Like I'm thinking, okay, somebody gonna give me something.
in return, what did that make you be more of a hustler
Hell
when you got
yeah.
older?
The next time, look, the next game I played again, I had won like $80 and I quit. And they
And
was
they were
mad
mad.
as
I
hell.
know.
Hell yeah, I walked away. I had to get mine back. I ain't about to lose this back. Shit.
I wish I played all them games with y'all. I think you know, like my mom didn't let me play football. She was my homeboy Trey was trying to get me to play football. She was so against it, and in return, I was scared because I didn't want to get hit. I always thought that that was the worst thing ever. It
Yo,
wasn't.
you when you used to come visit, you was always so scary.
That's because of how I was brought up. Like my father really honed in on what was in front of me. He didn't let me. He let me do a lot. I wasn't like some sheltered kid. I would always go outside and hang out. But when it came down to like pool billiards or like I said, cards, dominoes, those games that, you know, tie into gambling, I ain't do none of that. Like I said, I was raised in the church.
Well,
I
yeah,
was
because
raised in the
you
church.
know we gamblers, we big gamblers.
Oh, trust. Celeste, look, I'm sorry. I know I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My sister's palm itches a lot.
we all that's just what we do. It's ingrained in our family. And a lot of it starts from them tunk games. You be sitting there playing tunk, and you come up, and that's all it takes is that one win. I won that $80. I thought I was up. I was like, oh shit, I can do this all day,
Got you some candy.
man. All
You
that.
was good for the day. Yeah, man. That's me. That's so when we have these discussions, I really do come from a place that is full of compassion and humility. I try to use that. I try to live by those things
Mm-hmm.
because with those things, the other person is blessed, so to speak. Like I'm actually blessing the other person by showing that humility and compassion. So I use that when I approach obstacles and situations. And I never, I've never been in a fight. Got close, but never did.
Oh
So
damn.
never got in a fight. But it's funny because I recognize that, and just to be on the clear side, the safe side, I'm taking Krav Maga. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew that.
okay. What's that? That's
So
that Batman. Is that what Batman took?
Batman, I'm
You
Batman.
think you Batman? Next thing that's
I am. Take this hair. Once we get off the phone, I'm gonna save some motherfuckers.
oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
but it's just it's not like I'm scared to get into a confrontation, but it's just I want to be prepared.
Right.
So,
No, definitely.
um,
That's why look, my kids, they suburban kids. They ain't like me, so I make them take, I make them take Brazilian jiu-jitsu just in case, somebody want to be
that
froggish.
grappling.
Yeah, fuck them up real quick. That's all.
But that's it for me. Getting married soon. I'm looking to start that part of my life, and we when we have another discussion, we got to talk about shifts in our paradigm, like in our life,
Yeah.
because I know we wrapping up and stuff. That was something I felt like for the first time recently was the shift into the next area of my life. So,
Yeah. Cuz how
and
old are you
it's
now?
almost like 35.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when it happens.
It's like the door behind me closed,
That
and
young
it's
shit.
just like,
That young shit
dude,
don't
like,
that young shit don't matter no more.
dude, it wasn't scary. It was just concerning because of I ain't got a lot of time. I got to make sure I get as much money as possible, take care of my family as much as possible, make sure my wife is gonna be top notch, and when my kids have kids, it's gonna be, that they have money already. Because me, I'm tired of being broke. I don't know about you.
oh
I don't
yeah,
want them to
man.
be broke.
No, no,
So
and when we say broke, we ain't talking about like poor. None broke is,
no, yeah.
we talking about having generational type money. That's what we
Hmm.
talking about. Money where our kids is and they kids is good. So
Right.
that's the kind of money we talking about. Investment money, and a lot of times that's left through. Sad to say, a lot of people come up. Well, as far from what I was told, um, leaving inheritance. That's how you started. They inherit land, they inherit a house, they inherit or they have a life insurance policy. That's how you
Right.
start leaving. And then, they leave that and, that land, eventually becomes worth more and more as time goes by. So it's about,
Yep.
for me at least, it's about trying to leave something for my grandkids and my kids to, because my kids are teenagers now, so 14
Mm.
and 16. So
The fun years. That's when it gets fun.
yeah, that's when you don't know nothing. You don't know life even exists. You don't know shit about
And you
nothing.
just you get a pass for almost everything you do.
Hmm.
Almost. Almost.
Yeah.
But what about you, man? You gotta talk about yourself.
Oh yeah, got to talk about me a little bit. So that's basically, we are cousins. My father and your father are brothers, but it's a very very different different plane of existence. Uh, I was born in Buffalo, grew up in Buffalo. I stayed there till I was 24. Um, Grew up in the projects, Lakeview projects, as you can see behind me. Uh, Very
You
proud of
there
my
now?
hood. Grew up
Dang,
in
look at
some
that dilapidated house.
yeah, grew up in some undesirable circumstances. People make mistakes. Parents were on drugs. So I grew up in a drug house. So my perspective of I grew up a little faster than my cousin. I had to deal with a lot of grown up situations from 11 and up. Didn't really go to church except for when Marcus and his dad and them would come visit and take me to church and or kind of force me to go. I didn't want to go, but I did want to hang with them, and the only way I can see my cousins a lot of times had to do with me going to church. So I would get my church experience from them. But other than that, just kind of grew up in the hood. Got lucky enough at 18 to get a job straight out of high school. And moved to Michigan at 24. And been through a lot. Got married at 25, 2 kids, 14, 16. Um, my views are kind of in the middle. I'm kind of in the gray area. I'm not. Uh, I look at things logically, so to speak. I don't use emotions too much or religion. I
No
don't use.
template.
Yeah, I don't go based off of what was taught at church or what was taught at school. I'll go based off of is in my mind, is it right or wrong? In my mind, am I going to be all right with the end results, no matter what? So I kind of look at it very logically. Sometimes I overthink things and overanalyze shit because I'm trying to figure out. Sometimes it ain't a logical answer. I've had to realize that, and then sometimes that shit don't really work well with me. Like if I can't find the logical, reasoning behind the shit, I don't understand it. Because a lot of people do things I understand through emotions, but if I can't come to a logical answer, then I'm probably not going to say anything about it. And
Keep your mouth shut if you don't know.
I'm also kind of quiet, and I don't talk about a lot of the things that happened in the past because I don't know the statute of limitations on shit. So I would have to kind of see, what I can and can't say. But just it's really just your average black in the ghetto, around drugs, around a bunch of shit. Young and impressionable. It's no different than anybody else's story. Maybe worse
Right.
some and not worse than others. That's just how it's all the same. Ghetto is a ghetto everywhere, bro. So
Yeah.
I strive to have the family. What I've always wanted was a family structure. I've never
Right.
wanted, and that's no disrespect to anybody, but I just wanted to have my wife and my kids because that's something that growing up in the hood I never did. So far I've accomplished that. Shit ain't been easy, and I've been married 15 years now. I've been with her 17. So, I have a very extensive uh
You got a
field in
notebook.
being married. It's not easy. Marriage, that's not easy. So now I'm, just expanding this with my cousin and we trying this out. So, my views are just, sometimes you're not gonna like what I say. And it's just my views. None of this is personal. It's all, well, excuse me, it's not personal towards people, but it's my opinions and based off of how I was brought up. And I'm probably gonna
Right.
do this intro again. we're gonna do these intros again.
Yeah, we can look
These
at them and
intros,
then.
just so everyone knows, nobody will see this. This shit is getting edited.
Yeah, we'll definitely look back.
I gotta write the intro out because that wasn't what I wanted to say. I thought it out. I've been thinking about it, but it didn't come
But
out
it was
how I.
good. But
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, I think it. You touched on the important stuff.
Yeah.
The other stuff, if you want to like
I just
lessen
think
the
I need to
rambling,
clean
then
it up.
probably.
Yeah, just clean up some of the rambling. I'll edit some of that
Yeah,
shit out.
I think we need to look at it and then
Yeah.
kind of look. I don't know if you can send the record. Oh yeah, you can. You can send the recording.
Yeah, I can send the recording.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you, and then I'm gonna edit it too. I'll probably edit it tonight.